Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can about to title today's video, you have the best 2v2 duo builds in NBA 2K25. Now, I know it's going to be a little bit hard to see what's going on in the video, but I wanted to give you guys side-by-sides of each duo that I'm going to be showing in today's vid. So, we have 4 of them. I don't know if I'm titling the video top 5, but there's 4. Now, not everyone's going to resonate with you. Obviously, not a lot of people are probably going to resonate with this first one right here. For instance, it being my pure slasher build paired with a stretch big, and obviously you have the pure slasher at the 1. So let's just get straight into it. If you don't like this combo, we'll have another one in a couple minutes. But if y'all do enjoy the video, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to to like 2,000 likes, something like that. But anyway, getting into this first duo, obviously there are going to be some tweaks that we would recommend in terms of the builds if you only play 2v2. Like, I'm not sure 87 pass hack is necessary on 2s, let alone I know for a fact it's not, because I would go 85 if that's the case. The only reason 87 is on for break starter for the sake of like 5s and 3s. But furthermore, with that, I would even say maybe even 75 pass hack is fine for 2s, honestly, especially when it's, it's literally just the 2 of you playing together. It's nothing more than that. So if you only play 2v2, I would recommend, I know we got a lot of mouses on the screen, by the way, it's all over the place, but anyway, like I said, if you only play 2v2, I would say 75 pass hack is perfectly fine. If you want to just make a good build, period, I still think both of these are really good unison together. So let me give you guys a breakdown for how I play with a build like this. Because I play with the one on the left, my boy Tonic or Joey or even Kitchen back in the day would play on builds like this as well. So you have the point guards matched up on this build on the left over here, the pure slasher, right? And then on the right, you have the bigs matched up on this build. They want to switch more often than not. The bigs want to guard the build on the left, the guards want to guard the build on the right. Here's the thing. The guards still aren't a great matchup for the build on the right because you're still going to get shot over with the post scoring. I mean, it's great post badges, the post fade phenoms on Legend for that matter, and then it's 94 mid range at a 6'11 height as well, with even still have an 86 3-pointer. So you pair all those things together, it's really toxic in terms of the matchup switching and on 2s with inbounds and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try and give you guys a very simple, quick breakdown on how you can exploit inbounds pretty much with a lineup like this. So if I'm inbounding with this 6'8 right here, you can't move instantly as the person who's guarding me, aka the point guard, right? And then the big man who's stuck on this build right here, as long as he stays away from me on the inbound, you're gonna be able to throw the ball to him, and that big man cannot leave this guy right away because he's a shooting threat, obviously, right? So he has to stay in the way of that, and then as soon as I inbound the ball, I'm just rim diving straight to the hoop. The point guard can't leave me because I'm obviously becoming a threat in terms of that rim dive. So it's almost like a pick and roll in a sense for a short, brief period of time. So as long as you stay away from each other on the inbound, it's very hard to get that switch off. If they do get the switch off and they get the point guard or the smaller defender onto this stretch big right here, again, you could really go into a situation where you're just looking at a post up or shooting over him or isoing him in the mid range and stuff like that. And it's about as simple as that, to be honest, y'all. If they don't switch at all, you have a pure slasher getting the ISO on the other team's point guard. And lineups like this and a lot of the ones that we're showcasing in today's video are why you can't really bring small point guards to the 2s. It's just too tough to like deal with the paint mash and just the rebounding ability of everything like that. So again, with a build like this, if the point guard does get stuck on this build, you may even find a situation where the bigs are trying to help down way too much off of this build with the stretch over here. So then you just are easy dotting him, getting him wide open 3s. The big probably tried to close out late as well, so now he's not even down there for the rebound. So now you got a gold rebound chaser, 84 O-board down there hawking the rebounds as well on the O-board opportunities into the kickouts. Again, if the big's not helping very much, you got a lot of driving dunk, just taking advantage of a smaller guard. So long story short, that's why I love this duo right here, and I think it's a really good 2s kind of combo. And like I said, it fits into my lineups as well, so it's just naturally something I like to gravitate to. I know this one's a little bit harder to see. I didn't actually show some of these ratings being on the screen. This is essentially 96 post control with 90 standing dunk in case you're trying to fill in the blanks, and then 92 offensive rebound for the goal rebound chaser. Anyway, besides that though, you can see the duo that we have next on the screen is a pure lock paired with this Embiid post score. If you guys want to use an inside post score, it's in the next duo. You could literally just use that build paired with this pure lock as well. So this is the toxic duo right here, where it's nothing about matchup switching and stuff like that we just showcased with those exploitations. But with this right here, it doesn't matter about the matchup switch. A pure lock guarding that other team's point guard is just a devastating thing in the first place. And then you have kind of a paint sitting defender right here, if you will, where he's not very fast. It's not exactly meant to play a lot of versatile back end where you're not going to help on screens if you are playing a pick and roll team very much. You're not going to even help and drop a lot if you're guarding ISO, where like the big man is probably going to get stuck on the stretch big, you know? You don't want to drop too much. The build on the left can hold its own on defense entirely. It covers all the deficiencies of the post score on the right. And then you pair that with the fact that it can still space the floor a little bit. Like the Pierce Slasher I was just showcasing you guys in that last clip right there. That was, you know, obviously something where the spacing is into the paint. You want to just like be down there while the other teammate is isoing in the mid-range, or just like the post up with the outside post game. This right here has the ability to do the inside post game like crazy with that 96 post control, and then even still could space the floor if you have easy cut opportunities for this guy. Granted, it's not very often you're going to see that, because obviously, as you can see, the driving dunk and standing dunk are not very good on these builds right here. You know, well, with the lock, that is. And then the pass act is terrible too. So when this guy gets the ball, it's going to be a little bit harder to check it, like, you know, to the other teammate. I think that's one problem I will mention on twos that I really wanted to bring up in this video, is that it's very difficult to get away with such a low pass accuracy build on twos. So if you wanted to, you could use my power forward build instead. It has 75 pass act with like 92 prim, 94 steal. It's not quite the pure lock that's going to make it the most easy time for this guy to just like sit back on pick and roll teams or anything like that, but it's still a very good ISO defender, and you know, would definitely still be a lot more doable in terms of that pass accuracy not being terrible. And it actually, you know, has a lot better rebounding too. But I think 60D board is perfectly fine playing the 1-on-2s. You know, this is okay in my opinion. Again, it probably would have a little bit of a struggle against the build that I just showcased to you earlier with the crazy O-board hawking and stuff like that. But again, to fight through screens, 99 prim, have good agility and stuff like that, 90 speed at 6'7", that is so tough. And then you pair that with even still having the 96 steal, you could cap break into that 99 right there too eventually. I mean, it's a nasty duo. Pairing this with an offensive juggernaut like this, great post control, great, you know, well, not great mid-range, but like hittable mid-range, great close shot, standing dunk, all that, the ability to just do all the moves itself, the hook shots, everything. It's still good pass act to dot off, like, you know, the aggressive help defense off this guy. I mean, it's a great combo in my opinion, for sure. So I'm not ranking them. I'm not putting like in a, you know, a ranking system, but that is definitely good synergy between those two. Now, this right here, we actually have, I told Handles we should do this for the thumbnail, so I'm not sure if we ended up executing that or not, but this is the Kobe and Shaq duo. And, you know, it was more so that the two builds actually gravitate toward each other really well. It's not even so much that I just purposely did it because of it being my Kobe and Shaq builds, but I mean, if you look at it like this build, you know, it's almost like a reverse situation of what I just showcased to you guys in my builds combo with that 6'8" pure inside and the 6'11" stretch. So in this case, you have probably the guards matched up on the point guard that's much more of the offensive scorer, if you will. It's got okay dunk. It's going to be enough to get open dunks and stuff like that. The post control paired with the mid-range, great for taking advantage of small point guards. And then you pair that with a build that has the 94 offensive rebound and the 95 strength as well. You're going to be sitting block, trying to crash those rebounds really hard, and it's just kind of a paint fest. Like, it's just in the paint, it's going to be a real dogfight for that rebound if this guy on the left ever misses. This is a combo that me and Joe ran at the beginning of the year when we were playing together a little bit, and man, it's tough. I mean, this is like a really tough situation to deal with. Then you could also talk about the fact that, let's say you run into my lineup, the very first one we showcased, where it's like a very defensive point guard, but then a weak big man. You could take advantage of that weak big man, like the stretch big that has the 80 defensive rebound and like that low strength and stuff, and just absolutely dog him with this build right here. So you got like the 90 standing dunk, 92 close shot, 95 post control with 95 strength. You're just gonna dog walk those bigs, and it's gonna be tough. And then you have to help off this guy right here, who's a really good shooter. You know, the 93 midi giving good badges, 85 3-pointer, very respectable. And then even still, the defense is pretty good. So you combine all these things together, I'd like to think this is a very good twos duo. I think the two builds look really good because of the pass hack being 75 as well. I will say that much. Like, the lower the pass hack, the better it just looks on twos in my opinion. But you don't want to go so low to the point where like you can't dot your teammate quickly enough. So 75 is like the perfect threshold point for twos in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, even when you do get into a situation where Kobe, you know, over here is like going to be shot chucking a little bit, like volume shooting those mid ranges, again, you have a really good offensive rebound right here. We didn't even talk about how this build gets Hall of Fame brick wall too. So it's actually a great pair in terms of it even utilizing in pick and roll sometimes. So if like there's a pure lock on him and then a really good interior defending big, you probably want to go into that pick and roll game. You want to create some mismatches, you know, some matchup switches, force the big on the back end to step a lot. And then if he does have to step, I mean, we've seen it back in the day. Annoying, if you guys are familiar with him, like a very old school, like twos meta kind of guy. He would be coming out here on shot creators, and this is exactly what this is, right? A shot creator kind of post scorer, if you will. He would pretty much just come off a screen, fade. If the big on the back end stepped, this guy right here gets the free board on the point guard, you know? And if he didn't step at all, it's an open shot. So long story short, you can utilize pick and roll game. You can ISO with this guy. You can take advantage of weaker matchups with the big right here. I mean, there's a lot to work with in this, and I'd like to think it's one of the best combos you could use. And it's a lot more traditional too. You don't have to get so outside the box like my other combos that were being shown right there. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm pairing with NBA 2K Labs again this year. So in this time around, since it's so early, they're going to have early content such as the ratings you need for each badge and all the requirements with that are listed in, you know, visual form. We also have each takeover ratings boost, all the ratings that are boosted by every takeover. And a lot of this info, it's stuff I'm interested in seeing. Like that, for instance, is something I didn't spend my time on the game looking for, so you'll find it on their website, as well as the fact that I am super interested in that myself, so I'll be checking it out. And then also, as soon as the game drops, they're going to look for every animation requirement and list that on their website as well. Alright, so as for the premium content, this is where the banger is. Now, obviously, this is 2K24 information right here. To get the 25, you're going to have to subscribe, but 2K Labs is cool enough to let me show you the 24 info as an example. So, for instance, you got a lot of different ways to sort it through here. You can look through green window, speed, you can look for the fastest millisecond jump shot, you can look for the total make percent. So, for instance, on the early, middle, and late end of the green window, what the chances are, then all that combined into the total average. You can look through the most makeable shots to the fastest ones with the biggest green window, to the ones that fit your position group between the guards, wings, and bigs. It's fire. You can find the bases and the uppers in here and combine that for the best possible statistical jump shot, and it's just a huge tool, so shout out to them for that. And then you have ranking of dribble moves per category, so it's going to be like behind the backs, ranks against each other, showing you which ones are the best. There's like a letter grade on each of them tested by Koza, so he's going to be ranking all those dribble moves in each category. And then we also have dribble practice tools, so it's going to be showing you exactly how to do the moves on the controller, and then you can replicate it on the controller in their website as well. So for anyone interested in supporting me while also getting access to the content, you can go ahead and subscribe to the 2K Labs Premium right here on NBA2KLab.com. And then when you click register, it'll allow you a chance to put in a creator code of someone you want to support. And then if you put in code Laker at checkout, you'll get 20% off of your whole purchase right there. And not that some of you guys care, but just to let you know, I get a percentage based off only your initial purchase. So if you got the monthly, I would only get a percentage based on your first month. So if you do want to support me a little bit and plan to get like 3 to 6 or even a year-long subscription, feel free to get those and I would really appreciate it, but I get that not everybody wants to. So if you want just the monthly as well, that's cool too. So anyway, that's code Laker at checkout. Appreciate you guys for watching. And on that, let's get back to the video. So now, for those who don't want to be on a post score or a stretch, yet you still want to play twos, you're looking at my build right here. And I know we have already shown 2 of my builds, but I like to think that this is the type of stuff I'd be telling you guys you could actually utilize. And again, I apologize that some things are off the screen a little bit. We have them already in like a file here. So it's 87 pass ac, or actually 89 for that matter. 92 O-board. The block's enough for like the bronze anchor or paint patroller, if you will now. And I don't think anything else really pops off the screen that's not really worth talking about. 90 standing dunk, in case you're wondering. But anyway, so with this right here, this could potentially get patched, and that's why I saved it for last. The 5'9" obviously is going to get touched a little bit. We don't know about how much, though. So with this, I'd like to think if it does stay, or, you know, if it gets nerfed just a tad bit, or just even in general, I wanted to explain to you guys the concept of why I think this would be a good twos duo. And if it gets changed at all, you can, you know, adjust as you need with the build. But anyway, with this build right here, obviously, it's not the greatest ISO defender. However, the steals and, you know, Prim D. On twos, it's such a problem. I know a lot of people are just yapping and crying about how 5'9s can't play D. But let me tell you guys this much. You try and throw the ball all willy-nilly against the 5'9s, even if they have, you know, even if it's 5'9, I mean to say, with the 99 steal, bro, it's not an easy time at all. And even to just dribble around a 5'9 that has 99 steal consistently, not an easy time. This build still has 92 agility with 90 speed as well. It's not just going to be the easiest cakewalk ever to just dribble around it. If you want to post it up, however, that's a different deal. But you'd have to be on like that Kobe build that I just showcased earlier to be doing stuff like that and dominate a build like this. And even who knows whether you can pluck the post or not very easily. You know, in the most recent years, it's really not been the case. But either way, I just wanted to explain a two-way defensive point guard like this that still has serviceable ball handle combined with a pick and roll big. I think it's going to be a really good combo. I mean, combine decent pass accuracy from a point guard with really good shot hunting abilities as well. The layup's even still not terrible. And then combine it with just kind of a rim runner-esque like big man as well that can still hawk the rebounds pretty good. It's not a defensive liability with the Prim D and block both being decent. On twos, that's, you know, definitely enough. And then combine that with strength, speed, stuff like that as well. I will say, I don't think the 6'11 is my favorite build. I definitely prefer the 6'8, but to play the big with, you definitely want something a little bit taller, obviously. So again, this is just an honorable mention more so. You could really call this like the top 3 and then just count this as like a potential sort of one. And it's just for the vision, you know. I'm sure a lot of people want to play on inside bigs paired with an outside guard. So it's just, you know, me mentioning that as long as the point guard can play some defense, I think it's fine. But yeah, you may need to be a little bit taller for the sake of you playing on 2s potentially. But anyway, that's all for video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff. Like always, try this one, like I said, to like 2,000 likes or something like that. And if you made it to the end of the video, put duo in the comments to show this perch all the way through. But yeah, again, just a quick revision of everything that we went over here. I mean, again, this is all looking pretty good in my opinion. I'd like to think that those first 3 options that we showed are really, really good. And like I said, this one has some potential and it's probably what I'll be running on 2s. So anyway, that's all for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.